This is Tom Meyer, Superintendent of the Bellevue Community School District in Bellevue, Iowa, coming to you with this week's Believe in the Blue update. We had a board meeting last night, so that's why I'm here and just updating things. Like I said earlier, in the summertime, we do these about once every 2 weeks, just so people know. But with the board meeting last night, had a few things I just want to let people know of. We had some resignations. We had some people hired. A couple of the resignations, Pam Van Vleck retiring our halftime speech coach. She's still going to be a teacher here. Christopher Rowling, our art teacher, is leaving. That way, he is going with family down to Missouri. And Haley Bickford, who we had approved at one time to be high school assistant softball coach, has resigned due to another position that way. So we have Liz Ryder assisting Coach Scott Jessett there. So recommendations to hire. We did recommend Jessica Borman for the food service director position. Jessica comes to us with some experience from the Waukee Community School District and the Waterloo Community School District as food service person there. Aaron Fisher is going to be a halftime speech coach, and Aaron Fisher will also be the high school yearbook sponsor. Along with that, Christopher Dockham is going to be our vocal music teacher, K through 12, sharing some elementary duties yet with Mr. Davies. So Christopher is a very qualified candidate coming out to us from the University of Iowa, so it'd be a great thing that way. And Steve Nemmer is a halftime assistant high school football coach that way. Some other things we talked about there, we talked about athletic admission prices, whether that's just prices for games individually or passes. Those are all on our website under events that way, so you can find those. But just to let you know, our high school prices are staying the same at $5 and $4, although all district football games will be $5, and that's a district rule that way. Our JV games will only be $3, and those are for both students and adults. Family passes went to $160 this year compared to $150 in the past. With that, you also have an opportunity to gain access to online. You can share with other people who are not at the game or stay home yourself, I guess, to watch it. You get three passes with that for $40 that way, and it's a great option that way. And you can also buy those passes individually for $50. Student passes remain the same. Our adult pass went from $70 to $75. Just some minor changes that way. Still a very reasonable way to attend games and have a great evening or a great afternoon, whatever the case may be that way for any of our events. Our concerts obviously are free as long as they're not the River Valley Conference concert or the Winter Festival. Those do charge for another reason. TLC model teachers and mentors were also approved that way. The model teachers that way in PK through 1 are Emily Ray, 2 through 3 is Chris Kellogg, 4 and 5 is Tracy Till. The high school level, we have a few of those right now. We have science as Brent Chambers, PE and fine arts as Mark Rudin, social studies as Matt Yeager. The mentors for this upcoming school year will be Matt Yeager, Brent Chambers, Lisa Rill, Tracy Till, Emily Ray, Evan Davies, Ken Anderson, and Jennifer Meyer. The board also approved Title I funding, a formality we do every year. We are reviewing some policy updates on a variety of things. I do have those. I will have those posted later on this week. That way, but we review the 300 and 400 series along with a few in the 500 and 600 area. They deal with student school board representatives, looking at the possibility of adding a student representative to our school board, not as a voting member, but as input and sharing information that way. We're also reviewing our employee travel compensation, moving that to the state rate, which it just had not been a policy. We've been doing that, but we need to have it in a policy. Employee use of cell phones, we have some guidelines for that. Basically, if you're in school employee driving, you shouldn't be on your cell phone. Also, just the Iowa Code of Professional Ethics and Standards that way will be included. We talked about licensed employee group insurance benefits, classified group insurance benefits. If you're basically working over 20 hours a week, you can join the insurance program at the Bellevue Community School District that way. A student conduct update from the lawyers saying we need to have these things in our policy. Also, administration medication to students, and then summer school instruction where we must have licensed teachers, which we have for several years. So nothing too major impacting us in any way, but just some formality type things we needed to correct or needed to have in writing. One-to-one handbook, one-to-one computers that way for grades 6 through 12. A few changes there, real as a whole it's the same. We're increasing the cost from $25 to $30. We do have an option right now where students will be able to bring their own device as long as it has a keyboard with it. A phone like this is not a recognized device. That way it needs to have a keyboard. that way, a regular size keyboard. It could be an iPad if you have a keyboard with that. Could be your PC from home, your Mac from home, whatever the case may be, your Chromebook from home. And also bags. Students can use their own bags if they wish, as long as they fit underneath the desk in the classroom. They are perfectly fine. We find that some students want to have their own bags instead of school bags, and that's great. We will still provide a free bag if someone wants one, but that is a case that people can have their own bags. As far as bringing their own device and a filtering system, things like that, when the student comes into the building here, they still are on our filtering system, so the normal filter is still there, whether you're using our computer or your own computer. You're on our Wi-Fi, so the filter is still there. I did share some Comet Finance information that way. Our general fund, with a lack of funding for this school year and going back to the budget guarantee from the year before, we are starting out in a negative manner this year, and we were starting out with $15,000 less before any salary increases. So we're starting out in a hole of about $175,000. We do have a surplus there that we're using that way, so we are okay. But I just want everyone to know that our PEPAL funds are strong right now. We have about $250,000 in the fund that way, and that's the physical plant and equipment levy can be used for purchases on equipment, basically, and to repair things around the school. Capital funds, we're actually about a $750,000 budget with that, and those are for things that cost over $500 and are done for improvements to the building and new construction and things like that way. So the board also discussed some just staffing in general over time and where we're at with that, looking at the possibility, depending on enrollment, depending on finance, of an early retirement package in the future sometime, whether that's in a year from now, 2 years, 3 years, whatever the case may be, but that is a thing that we did discuss some that way. Let's talk about facilities. Some different things we're doing. We've ordered some collaborative furniture for the 3rd grade and 5th grade rooms next year. We've repaired some lockers in both the middle school and high school. We're putting some baseboard covering that way along our walls for to get rid of some of the scuffs on the wall and things. Lighting improvements have taken place in the middle school, high school kitchen area and in the elementary cafeteria. We are putting out sealant on our track, and that will not happen until late summer, early fall during the school year. We talked about Cole Park improvements. The improvements have been done there, and many of those, most of those done by our students and our staff and the community helping out on the community club day and other times that way. So a lot of volunteer efforts, very much appreciated. If you haven't had a chance to go down to Cole Park to a baseball game, I encourage you to do that. It's a great atmosphere to watch, and it's really been going very well down there. We also talked about some other potential summer projects: green space at the elementary, fixing a sidewalk on the north side of the elementary across the street from the fire station, replacement of a fence at the elementary as well, potentially sometime, and then actually adding some windows and making some changes to our ICN room. In the future, we've also talked about some music room improvements, knocking out some walls, getting rid of the false ceiling and elevating the ceiling in there as a whole by getting rid of that false ceiling. That's something we're talking about, along with some other just general things, roofing, parking lots, stuff like that. We are interviewing for art teachers right now. Hope to have a decision made by the end of the week that way. Some other key things there. We did have the superintendent evaluation. That's me, I guess. Had an evaluation that went well. If anyone wants to see that evaluation, that is fine. You can contact me. I'd be happy to share that with you. They did. The board did also grant myself, along with everyone else, that 3.4% total package. I do believe that sometime in the future that may need to change for myself to a lower amount possibly, but I just want to make everyone aware of that way. But that's where we're at kind of that way. I do want to take a second here, and if you're looking for a summer read, this book here, Most Likely to Succeed, I would strongly recommend it. I'm just going to read you a small part here. It talks about education reform and what needs to happen in schools. Starts off here, many innovative companies give employees significant blocks of free time for pure exploration. Do the same for a child. And the trade-off between the test prep and the passion-based exploration. It's a challenge, but engaged students often rise to the occasion on standardized tests, offsetting a lack of direct preparation. Letting kids devour books they care about may not goose SAT or ACT verbal scores as much as long hours memorizing SAT vocabulary, but it's better for a child in the long run. It's important that we recognize that we need to provide students opportunities for their own learning. Genius Hour, Google Time. We do both of those things in this district, K through 12. We need to get better at that. We need to make that a priority or continue making that a priority. I really believe we are with some new innovative things we're doing for our students here in this district. So great things are happening here. It is summertime now, though. I hope everyone has a great summer. Tune in again in a couple weeks. I'll have another update, and we'll go from there. Everyone have a great one.